What's up, turds? It's Sean Creo with Team Descent here, bringing to you another video. This time around, it's going to be a tier list video on the current BT-21 format. If you managed to watch the podcast that I had with Dan Vang, Huang Zero, and Takib, you would know that I really love the current BT-21 meta. There's so many decks that you can play and perform well with, but that just makes it so much harder to decide a deck to play in large scale tournaments, right? So hopefully a video like this will help you guys that are grinding to get those national invites and secure the win. If you haven't listened to the podcast yet, I would highly encourage to go listen to it. It was a great discussion on being a competitive player. But without further ado, if you like competitive content, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and get right to the video. All right, so first things first, I just want to give a quick shout out to Ride My Avatar. It looks like he's the one that had made this tier list. There's a whole wide selection of decks here, and I broke it up into 5 different tiers, tier 1 through 5, 1 being the best deck, and then tier 5 being the doo-doo dog water. I know quite a few decks, so I don't know all of them exactly to, like, obviously a 100% extent, but I think I can give some pretty good input here, so probably just going to skip around for the main decks that I see fit here. So looks like the first one we're going to do Bloom Lord. So Bloom, I am actually surprised about. So I had co-hosted a what was it, an Eagle Access tournament. If you guys have never competed any of those tournaments, it's actually pretty competitive. He is easily the highest participated online tournament. Mondays and Thursdays, if you guys are interested. Very competitive, great practice online. But there was a Bloom and Safaga player, or it was like a Safaga player, I'm sorry, that was popping off, and they're both very similar decks, right? In the most recent Dallas regional, there was actually a Bloom, I think 1 or 2 Blooms like near the top table, so I was definitely impressed. I think it still has the previous explosiveness that it had, being able to go wide, and Pomu is just really good. Also with like Grand Gale, obviously that card is so good, being able to create immunity for yourself into opponents' Digimon. It's really good. With that being said, I don't think it's in the best decks format. I think it's anywhere between like tier 2 and tier 3. I'll probably put it in maybe like maybe the top of tier 3 is probably where I would put it. Maybe the bottom of tier 2. So we'll just rearrange later. Next up, this is gonna be, looks like we have birds. Now, do I want to just go ahead and make this Megidra birds? Because I feel like that's the one that is popping up a lot. I don't really see it around here, but Megidra birds, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's definitely competitive. It's a sleeper pick. I don't think a lot of people are playing it, which is the only reason that I don't think that it's showing a lot of results, but I do think it's actually up there. Again, I think it's I really want to say it's like tier 1 / top at the very top of tier 2 in competitive, because it can definitely get some wins out there. I've been completely blasted by it. It's only susceptible to like bounce aces, but other than that, it has a lot of explosiveness. Being able to utilize Phoenix X and make your end of attack also your on deletion, so then you get like the Guilmon, basically like the whole Megidra line. With Phoenix X, it's really strong. You don't need to set up trash like you do with Megidra. If you have the nuts hand, you just go in, and it's really hard to stop. I'm really tempted to put it at top of tier 1, but man, I think I'll put it in tier 2. Mirage, I mean, I was basically a Mirage player for the majority of its reign. Unfortunately, it's not that great. I actually did make a Mirage build where you have the one that bounces Tamers. I would probably put it in tier 4. I wouldn't say it's due to dog water because I had seen a list or two around running around, but I don't think it's going to make any successful placements in big regionals. Black or Gray, I think, is in the same kind of boat. I would almost actually put it in tier 3. Because I think it could have won with locals, I'll be honest. It's either bottom of tier 3 or like top of tier 4 maybe. It's just too slow. It basically is Galacti, right? It's doing what Galacti wants to do, but it's like way slower because it doesn't have rad cannon. So yeah, I guess but it has different tools, right? So with that being said, Galacti, I'm gonna put it at, I don't know if I want to. It did win in Oceania regional. It's probably got to be like maybe like bottom tier 1, and then if you just like face nothing but like adventure and tamered based decks, it's like easy wins all day long. I played a solid like week and a half of Galacti, 2 weeks of Galacti, where I really liked it, but then it got boring real fast. And what I don't like about it is that you can't really tech cards in because everything needs to have like Venmon in text. So it's kind of awkward. I'm tempted to put it, I feel like I'd put it here in tier 2, right below Megidra Birds. I still think, again, I'm a big fan of Megidra Birds. Let's see, Machine Dramon. Oh gosh, I'll probably put that in. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but bottom tier 4, probably above Mirage though. It's just too slow. There's nothing that Machindra can really do against something like Megidra, so I'm not going to say too much more about that. Next up, Hunters. Hunters is definitely competitive, so I'm going to put it probably, it's probably on the same level as Galacti. Yeah, these three are probably like equal in strength here. It just has a lot of explosiveness, but you do need to set up your tamers in order to get that explosiveness going off. Hunters obviously has a really horrible Galacti matchup. So, but other than that, I think it really has been pulling some numbers here and there. So I don't think it's too terrible. Same thing as Galacti. It shows up every now and then. It can win. It can have top placements, but it's not as relevant in this format. I wish it was, but I think the main problem is that not a lot of people play it, and also it really gets wrecked against Galacti, like I said. So, Beelzemon. Let's put it in locals tier. I mean, come on, it's Beelzemon. It's always come out with like random tools here and there. But if you just high roll, you high roll. That's always how the deck has been. But with that being said, again, it's really susceptible to aces. It's very linear in the way it plays. It's very obvious what you're going to do. Not much to say about that. Rosemon, Dogwater. Dogwater. Probably not going to do anything. I'll be honest. It's just, what are you going to do against Royal Knights? It's not going to do too much. I don't want to spend too much time about this, but Commandramon, their D Brigade, I'll probably put it in. Probably not topping, maybe locals even. Weirdly enough, I feel like I've seen that running around. I know I saw one in Dallas as well. I'll put it in locals. I mean, low ending rush decks, you can't go wrong with that in the Digimon card game, especially when it just consistently floats more bodies. Next up, we have Fenry. Fenry, I love the deck. It's actually pretty fun, but let's be real, it's probably not topping. This is like the OG variant where you're playing a bunch of bodies and swinging it out. With that being said, there's not too much going on for the deck other than its going wide capability. It's cool and all, but you need to have that set up. The opponent needs to have Digimon on the board. It's basically a worse version of like Megidramon. if you're trying to get a one shot in. It's a worse version of the old Fenrir as well. War Greymon, again, probably not topping. It's I mean, there's just not much going for it. Not much going for it. I'm not gonna say too much about that. What is this? What even is this? This is the Digiplease? Alphamon? I don't even know. I'm not even I'm not gonna go through all of these decks. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna go through the ones that I know. Melga, probably not topping. I know it has potential with like Melga OTK. But what are you really gonna do against like Royal Knights if you swing into Royal Knights and they have their Mirror Force trap card? You're not gonna have any protection against that, right? So what is this? Apocalymon? I'll put in dog water. I wish it was better, but Apocalypse being at 1, there's not much you can do about that. Maybe the only variation that we saw that worked with this deck was the purple hybrid deck and purple hybrid Apocalypse Dark Masters, and that wasn't even like true Dark Masters Apocalypse. But even then, purple hybrid isn't as good anymore as it was before. It's still a good deck, but with purple hybrid getting hit, this is also just like not really ideal. Imperial, easily tier 1 in my opinion. This deck is just so good. It gets good into Royal Knights, good into Megidra, really horrible into Galacti in my opinion, and pretty bad into Sakuya for obvious reasons. Ruin mode absolutely cooks you. Galacti makes it so that you can't actually strip sources, and then if they have the redirect, your Pyodramon can't even swing. So it's really, really awkward. And then Galactic can also like pop your Davis Ken. So but with that being said, I think the deck is still really good. It's still showing some numbers, and it definitely has potential. Next up we have Tyrant. Tyrant, I'll probably say tier 3 locals. I mean, probably above these two. I have more faith in Tyrant than any of these other decks. So I mean, it's a big green guy, being able to spawn bodies unaffected by Digimon effects, and it actually has good aces now with like, if you want to like tech in something like Puppetmon. Obviously you can have like Paladin mode in there as well, but you don't really see Tyrant around. But with that being said, I still think it has potential. So the only thing that's kind of rough is Royal Knights. I feel like can be pretty rough just because or you can gives it the DP minus, and if you don't have enough DP on your turn, it'll just die at the start of the turn, similar to like the problem that Magna has, right? So Dex Dorgora, I'll do locals for that one. Definitely above Black War Gray for sure. Again, this deck, it's just almost, it was always slow before, and it's still slow now, but I feel like that there's always that potential for this deck to just like run away with the game, especially if they have like really good setup. But not too much else with that deck. Rapidmon, I'm gonna put it in tier 3 as well. Tier 3 locals, I'll put it above Beals. I'll put it above these 3. Rapidmon, it always has a good aces with Mega Gargo, right? And Rapidmon as a Mega, Rapidmon X is pretty solid. But with that being said, it suffers into Royal Knights if there's that Oryukin. Megidra, it's like, okay, well, sure, you can blast into Mega Gargo, but I feel like it's just really slow compared to like Megidra. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it at tier 3 locals. It's not bad, but I don't think it's gonna be showing too much results. Next up is Magna. Now let's just say this is like Magna Armors. Maybe let's even say this is like DNA Jagras. I'm definitely gonna put this one in tier 2. Really, really good. If you guys saw my Magna Armors deck list, I was mentioning that I have a lot of faith in the deck just because it was one of my decks that like I was rotating around in terms of practicing for regionals, just because a big immune blocker is really, really good. Obviously Magna suffers into Oryukin, like I was saying, So Royal Knights can be kind of awkward sometimes, but if you have the DP bonuses with like Island Adventure or Jedi's House and your DP inheritables, then it's okay. Otherwise, it's kind of rough. But with that being said, any Magna deck really has like a really good matchup into Megidra. And if you're playing like DNA Joggers, it can have a really good matchup into Royal Knights too. I know Digishon was playing it during the Dallas. Some of my buddies were playing it for Dallas regionals. I think it's a good option. It's a good answer into most of this meta. But it's kind of awkward because like something like, let's say like Hunters can just swing into it with superior mode. Magna, in my opinion, has a good Galacti matchup as long as you're running Paladin mode. So there's that. I think Magna can have a positive win matchup into you know what? Now that I'm just like talking around, I think I'll put Magna below Megidra Birds. It could be good into like, let's say any of the Imperial decks. So it just I think it hurts with like consistency, and sometimes it can be like awkward with hands. So but yeah, I'll put it confident like tier 2 top competitive. Let's see, Red Hybrid. You haven't really seen this deck around. I'm just gonna put it in locals, probably above these guys again. I'll do it like this. Black War Grace probably at the very bottom there. But yeah, let's see. Red Hybrid. I mean, sometimes you just go burr, but it suffers into Galacti. But it just doesn't have that speed, especially with the hit that just happened. Getting rid of the the Goonie that lets you warp. That honestly was not a great time for Red Hybrid, but you did get new stuff like Takuya, so new tools to play with, but I still don't think it's quite there. It can get out some cheeky wins like Red Hybrid it can always do, but compared to your decks like Imperial, Royal Knights, Megidra, there's not much going on there. For the same reason, I'll put there's a difference though with Blue Hybrid, aka Ancient Garuru. I'll put it in competitive tier 2. It has been showing some numbers here and there. I know recent Oceania had a placement. I know it won a regional early on this set, a regional win, but although it was just a store championship. But I know, and I think in Dallas there was an Ancient Guard running around somewhere as well. So this deck, it has the how do you say, the benefit of being able to like run red rookies while also having the strength of like bouncing Digimon, which is really good. I remember watching a Eagle X match where it was like Ancient Guard versus Megidra, and they were just like leaving their bodies on board, and he just kept bouncing it, and I was like, wow, yeah, that with like being able to tech in Crimson Blaze, that's very good. So I'm gonna put it above Bloom for sure. So that's how we'll have it there. Is this Argomon? What the hell is this thing? I don't know what this is, so I'm just not gonna touch it. Eosmon, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know jack diddly about it, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna put it at the bottom here. Can I just leave all of this at the bottom that way? Again, I don't know every deck, so if I don't know anything, I'm just gonna not talk about it. Fenry, doo dog water. You can try to make this work with like Kazuchimon, but too much setup, takes too long. It's way more awkward than than like the Fenry setup, like the Dark Animal setup. So that's why I'm putting it in due to dog water. I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna not talk about it. Emperor Greymon, I feel like that's the same thing as Red Hybrid. What is this random ancient? What is all this stuff? Magnagar, I don't know anything about it, so I'm not gonna talk about it. What is this? It's Seraphimon. Now I did play against a black hybrid player. It was like round 4, I think, and he was undefeated. So I'm actually just gonna say probably not topping, but he was playing some like black hybrid stuff with Justimon and Justimon Ace, or it was like Justimon Ace and Justimon X, and then Mother, and that was actually insane. He was going crazy. Very unique deck list. I was very impressed. I was weirdly stressed out. I was playing Magidra and I was stressed out. So good player. Shout out to you. Don't know your name, but he was. I saw him popping off with Black Hybrid in a previous regional as well. So might be sleeper. I don't know, but I'll say probably not topping. Next up, we have Duskmon here, which represents Purple Hybrid. I'm gonna put it above Bloom. Purple Hybrid, really, really good in this meta. I know, I think like EU and Oceania really like value Purple Hybrid. So honestly, I'll probably put it above. Yeah, I think I'll put it above Ancient Gar, just because you can run some really great rookies. So you can run Psychmon, you can run Gazimon, which are two really great rookies this format. Psychmon obviously stopping Royal Knights, Gazimon stopping the annoying stuff like whatchamacallit, Gravity Crush. Although granted, Magidra does run the Floodgate Popper, but if they don't have it and they have something else, then Gazi is a super clutch, especially if you have like double Gazi. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Duskmon did suffer with the ban list. Matt Sheeta getting hit is kind of rough, but it still is showing a lot of potential with superior mode coming out and popping off, being able to give that end of turn swing without unsuspending, or not end of turn, just like being when digivolving swing without suspending. That's really good for being able to push extra attacks. Purple Hybrid never really had like that top end before, but now with superior mode, I think it's a really nice addition. I don't know anything about Ryuga. I don't know anything about Dynus. I'll say Dynus probably not topping. I saw that list that had I think it had a 1-star regional, which was crazy, but so I'll at least put it on here. But kudos to them. I don't know anything about the deck. I know it just does a bunch of like DP minus and like recovery and stuff, but haven't seen it around, so I don't really have a faith in it. Lucemon, I'll do probably not topping. I faced against this deck a few times. It's really scary, especially if you let's say you're not able to set up any like Tamers or Digimon. They're basically constantly like trashing your security and making you have a choice between like deleting your Digimon or Tamers or trashing your security. And once you get down to that super low security, if they get you there, it can be really, really tough to come out of. But with that being said, it's way too slow. You have to Digivolve for 5 into Lucemon in the raising area. And it just takes too much to get going sometimes. What is this? The bees? Probably not topping, let's be real. Sorry, Luis. I know you're going to be bummed out about that one, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about the bees. I haven't been too impressed with it. I probably need some more support, maybe some protection or something. But I'm just going to leave it at that. Skull Nightmon, I'm not going to talk about this deck because I don't know anything about it, but Lord Nightmon I definitely know. I'm going to put it at tier 2 competitive. I'm going to put it above, I'll put Lord Nightmon above Ancient Gar. This is one of my favorite decks. I was considering taking this to Nats last year. I wish I would have taken it to Nats actually. But again, you're able to recur Psychmon against Royal Knights. You get to have that crazy OTK aggression potential. And it's just really, really good because you get the Digivolve, preventing Digivolution. Very solid deck. In fact, Momin, aka Donkey Nog, he got second with a variation on this deck. He was playing like a Lord Knight variant. So that definitely shows potential. If you know what you're doing with the deck, you can always do well. With that being said, we have, let's see, I'm going to skip Millennium on because I don't know anything about it. So, but Virus Imperial, easily tier 1. I would actually... The two Imperials are about like the same power level. Again, the biggest weakness that I think the Imperial decks have is honestly Sakuya. But I will say I think Virus Imperial has a better matchup into Galacti just because you can get your like Dino B to really big DP, and that'll force. So that means that you can actually swing into Galacti, which is really nice, and you can swing into stuff like Magna. So honestly, maybe I think I'll put virus over blue green, just because of that, just for that reason. But the biggest reason that it's up here is not only for its explosiveness, but also because it has a pretty solid Magidramon matchup. If you're able to just turbo into fighter mode, it's really tough for Magidra to do anything, because if you get into that fighter mode, you are going to have that partition, but also they're not going to be able to play Digimon by effects. So really, really rough there, because if they answer you with, like, let's say like a Gallant or something, you're just going to be able to get those partition and on deletion effects to pop off the following turn. Let's see, next up we have, what is this, like Jesmon, I guess, tier. I'll do top of tier 3 for sure. I mean, if you guys watch my old deck profile on Jesmon, it's actually really cracked, being able to give it a completely immune board with blockers, but it can lose pretty easily to Sequoia, giving minus 5k to a board, preventing on plays, stuff like that. It can be really rough in the current meta, but having a wide board with immunity blockers is still really good. The only problem is that you are going to need to see a lot of your pieces, and sometimes that's not always going to happen. Let's see, Giga Seedramon, I'm just going to say I've seen some lists here and there, so I'm going to actually put it in the locals tier. I'll probably put it let's put it right there. I don't know too much about the deck. I know that you can like swing on suspend, swing and stuff like that, play a bunch of bodies. So going wide and swinging a bunch is always good. Kazuchimon, I already talked about that with Fenry, so I'm not really going to talk about that here. Valder Arm, I'm assuming this is Excel. Let's see if there's a Sequoia around here. Am I missing a Sequoia? Okay, yeah, there's Sequoia right there. So this is going to be Excel. I'm going to put Excel in locals tier. I'll put it above. I'll put it like this, and then probably red hybrids above Rapidmon. And then let's put Tyrant below red hybrid. Yeah, that makes me feel better. And then maybe, now that I'm looking at this, let's do Black War Gray and probably not topping, maybe below Machine Dramon. Okay. So Excel, Valder Arm is obviously a really, really cracked card. I think Excel is like really missing maybe some searchers, because basically you're just playing like analog and maybe like Yellow Bamboos in that deck. But I'm very surprised. I feel like it can be one of those like underdog winners. Shout out to James for putting me on Excel, because he helped me see the power in that deck. When a lot of the meta is just like playing using on play effects, Valder Arm is just a very, very good card. I'm sure you guys have seen that in Sequoia at some point, but that's why I'm putting this here. Next up we have, what even is this? This is Invisimon. I'm just gonna go ahead and label this as Galaxy Invisimon. So I'm gonna put this in competitive for sure. I'll probably put it right below Ancient Car. Now the benefit of Galaxy, we can't put it down and out, right? Like, I mean, it won the world championship. And it's still good and relevant in this meta. Being able to utilize every single toolbox and being able to just like warp into your level 6 super fast is always going to be strong. With that being said, it probably does have a really bad Royal Knights matchup, but I think into like your standard stack decks and stuff like that, this like toolbox, Galaxy toolbox type deck can actually really, really thrive. Utilizing cards like Mirage, and I've seen like Gallant X, Those are all really strong cards, and you just basically splash all of the strong cards onto your deck. With that being said, let's go to the next one. We have Chronicles. Chronicles, I'll probably put it in the locals tier. Let's put it above Tyrant. Being able to play off of your breeding area and going up into your stack and threatening ace is always really good. Or Yukin is one of the best aces, to be honest, and this is the deck that utilizes that. I'm excited for the upcoming future support, but for now we have Oryukin in like Chronicles. But I think the deck's too slow. It doesn't have too much power. That's why I think it's just going to stay at a local tier. Heavy Metal Dramon, I don't know too much about this. I'll probably put it in like probably not topping. It's kind of weird. I played against I played against it in an online tourney one time, and it was just super awkward because obviously you're trashing your own cards, and like that's kind of your game plan, but there's not much else to that. Like, yeah, you have some aggression, yeah, you're playing from your trash, but it's not, it's lacking a lot. It's lacking a lot. I need more explosiveness. I need more consistency. And Heavy Metal Dramon just honestly doesn't have too much of that. Necromon, I'm going to say locals probably. Let's put it above like maybe Giga Dramon. Necromon, I mean, really fun purple deck. If you guys haven't played it, you're basically just like going wide. You're constantly floating out your bodies, and you can overwhelm your opponent that way. There's not enough like oomph in the deck. I think it needs some more support, but right now I think I'm okay with putting it in locals tier. I feel like you can get some cheeky wins here and there. Safaga, I'm going to put it right next to Bloom. Like I said, I feel like these two decks are kind of interchangeable. They play very, very similarly. But I think Safaga is definitely better than Bloom. Being able to gain immunity, you have all those aces, like Safaga Ace, really, really good. Swinging into your opponent's Digimon, really, really good. It's just a great way to answer the board while you're also immune because of Grand Gale. So Grand Gale really just carries both of these decks. And then now we finally reach Royal Knights, which is easily in near the top of tier 1. Royal Knights, what can I say? It's just a toolbox Megazord deck, Megazoo deck. Being able to answer your opponent's body or your opponent's field in numerous ways is just so annoying. Being able to, you have to account into like every single like mega into Royal Knights, and then now with Cool Boy and basically like a Mirror Force being able to completely stall your opponent, it is just really, really rough to deal with. There's a reason why it consistently wins regionals. Especially with I feel like Royal Knights, it's such a high skill ceiling. If you have a lot of practice with this deck, you're going to succeed because you're going to be able to. I think the Royal Knights is the one deck where it really can beat every single deck in the format, and it has like worse matchups, but I wouldn't say it's a totally unwinnable matchup. Like a lot of these decks I feel like have like an unwinnable matchup, and I feel like Royal Knights is the one deck where you can win against any deck. Next up, we have a new deck. We have Medusamon. Medusa, it goes burr. You're just swinging a lot. You have progress, which makes it so that you're immune while attacking. Basically, it has a lot of aggression, but with that being said, it's kind of like your standard red deck, right? So I'll probably put it. I'll probably put it like right here below Jesmon. I want to put Dexdoragora below Tyrant. And then I'm kind of that makes me feel a little better here. Okay. Yeah, not much else to say about Medusa. I think it needs some more support as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if it like wins some games here or there. It's a red deck, so what do you expect? Puppetmon, I'm not sure what this is, so I'm just gonna not talk about it. I can't even tell. Is this Nature Spirits? I don't know anything about Nature Spirits. Megidramon, all right. In my opinion, this is the best deck. The format, for obvious reasons. It does have its weaknesses, but you can just a lot of time you can BS your way out of it. This deck is going to easily get Grav Crush banned or restricted. Probably Growlix or maybe like Rush Gale as well. Those are other potential hits, like Huang was saying in the podcast. But yeah, I mean, Digimon, it's just so stupid consistent. That's what I was talking about with my buddies. Like you run like 11 rookies, and then for me personally, I run 3 analogs, 4 trainings, like 3 boosts. You have the Digimon I designed. It's just so much search potential. And on top of that, all the most of the rookies like search except for the Rush Gales, right? So really consistent. And something that I like about it is that you can also Digivolve for 1 with all of the rookies. So you have that going for it. The choke potential is like insane with this deck, and the explosiveness is insane. So definitely best deck in the format in my opinion. I feel like he has a winning matchup into everything except for probably like I said, like Magna. Imperial can be rough, although I did win against Imperial in my regional run, just because I mean Megiddo can just explode. Probably rough into, it's also rough into like weirdly like Xmon and like Dragon Links, but you don't really see that around. So Megiddo just has great consistency, great explosiveness. Definitely best deck in the format in my opinion. Looks like this is like Magna Armors. I already kind of talked about it, so I'm just not really gonna talk about it again. We have Gaomon. I'll put it in I think I'll put it like right here, middle of tier 2 in the competitive tier. This should honestly, I should probably make this like tier 1.5. That's what this is starting to feel like. So I'm gonna do like maybe like 1.5, tier 1.5, and then let's do like tier 2 locals. And then let's do like tier 3, probably not topping. And then tier 4 due to dog water, because I don't want to. It's weird calling it felt weird calling these decks tier 2, right? So, but let's see, where was I? Gaimon, obviously I just posted a deck profile with Sakib. It's really good in terms of, again, the explosiveness. It just goes out of nowhere. The game that he got me during our regional match, I was really shocked at how fast you can go, being able to swing 2 checks, unsuspend, swing 2 checks, and then go into like Gaimon, trash last security, unsuspend, trash last security, and swing. It's just disgusting. If you have the nuts, you have the nuts. Not much more to say about that. Let's see, what is this one? Let's say this was, I guess this must be Adventure, right? Adventure, I'm easily going to put it like top tier 1.5. I mean, this deck is so freaking disgusting. Its only bad matchup is like Galacti and Sakuya, right? Sakuya being that it stops on plays, and also you can also get Rune mode to really ruin the day. And then Galacti, you just scoop into Galacti. But with that being said, Adventure is kind of like that deck that just really gatekeeps the whole meta. Like if you don't have a proper answer to the black option or its aces, it's really annoying. Honestly, now that I'm talking about it more and more, I'm gonna put it in tier 1. I don't know why I would put it in tier 1.5. You know what? I think. All right. In the hands of a good player like Huang, and let's say like my teammates also play Adventure, it seems like the most disgusting deck. Like it's so versatile, but I'm just gonna be honest here and say that most people pilot this deck so incorrectly, that it makes it like a much worse deck. So under the hands of a good player, it's tier 1. Under the hands of like a mid player, it's probably like tier 2, and then a bad player, obviously, it's gonna be like tier 3. But so for now, I'll put it in the bottom of tier 1. But again, that's kind of subject to change based on who's playing. Alphamon, let's put that in locals. Put it like right there. I mean, Alpha's cool. You don't really see it around, but I feel like it has that potential. Being able to go into the old alpha to like stop low end Digimon from attacking, that's super cool. And then the old Oryukin, that's always nice, but Again, it's kind of overshadowed by Chronicles right now, so not too much going on there. D Reaper. I'm just gonna say this is like the standard base D Reaper. Let's make that a locals deck. Not too sure where to put it. Let's put it like above Necro. Let's put it above this. I think Dex Duergar can actually go like towards the bottom here. That feels kind of slow. D Reaper, I mean, it's cool when you're able to like give everything sec -1. With what was it called? The I don't even remember that 10 drop one. I've seen some pop offs with D Reaper. I think it's just weird. It takes a long time to set up. And not too much else with that. Dragon Links, I'm gonna put it, gosh, just because I got freaking whooped, I'm gonna put it in tier 2. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it here. I feel like it would have been better off if I like made a rogue tier, but my eyes really got open to Dragon Links when I was at a store regional, and I got absolutely obliterated. I was playing Megidra and they were playing Dragon Links, and they were literally just hard slamming stuff for 7 and going into their like volcanic Dramons and metallic Dramons, and there was literally nothing I could do. I couldn't Digivolve, I couldn't move up. It was ridiculous, and they just absolutely curb stomped me from there. That's the same reason why that whole like Galaxy Dragons deck was really good. But now with the new Hina, it's almost better to go back to the OG, just because you can just like drop your level 5 and go straight into the level 6 and get all of its effects. So really disgusting there. I haven't seen anyone play it, but I honestly, into like Megidra, it's really, really good. Against like the Imperials, it's probably good. Really rough into like Royal Knights though, I'm sure. But the Dragon Link player that I played against in the story regionals, he was like, there's no bad matchup. But every deck has a bad matchup, right? Unless you're Royal Knights. Let's see. Next up we have Blue Flare. Blue Flare. Let's keep it at locals. I mean, it's cool when you're able to like freeze the whole board, but with the current game state and how it is, like, you're pretty much just getting one shot anyway with stuff like Imperial, with the Imperial decks, or with Megidra, or heck, even Royal Knights. It really doesn't matter if you stun some stuff. But honestly, Blue Flare, it always has that potential to just like explode out of nowhere, being able to swing on suspend, and it got some new tech cards. It was kind of weird. It's definitely not as strong as it used to be, but the potential's there. And I'll always respect it if I see it. Gaiamon, I don't really know too much, so I'm probably just gonna put in like probably not topping. Nah, I don't wanna rank it. Leopardmon, I'm gonna say locals. I love this deck. Its biggest problem is obviously going to be Royal Knights, but I feel like you can really pop off with Leopard. There's also like people have been doing like a Leopard Xmon thing, which is interesting for sure. But if I were to play Leopardmon, I would want to play pure Leopard base. Being able to go really wide, answer your opponent's body or your opponent's field is really, really good. While also threatening aces, like if you were to add in like Savaga Ace, if you were to add in Puppetmon or Cherubimon, and then even with the level 7s like Paladin, really, really good. But Royal Knights can be a big problem, especially since a lot of Royal Knights decks just run medieval nowadays. It's kind of rough, because what are you gonna do? Like bounce it back to their hand? It's not ideal by any means. We have Heavy Leo. I'm gonna say probably not topping. I mean, you get to recur your bodies, but too slow. With what was it called? Indomitable? Is that what it's called? kind of an awkward deck, but that's why I'm putting in probably not topping, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily like doo dog water. Levia, I'm going to immediately put that in probably like the top of tier 2. It has a good showing into decks like the Imperial decks. You can run the Psychmons. You can have Threatened Biting Crush. Now that I'm going to say that, I'm going to put it in... I'll put Bloom at the top of tier 2. And then I'll probably Levia on top of... in front of Zafaga. Yeah, I don't know. Biting Crush is a good card. Leviax is a good card. Can answer a lot of these decks that just like play by effect. But with that being said, it's not quite as explosive, right? You kind of have to play off your opponent in order to get maximum value. Galaxy, we already kind of talked about that. 7DL, I'll put it top of tier 2. This used to be like one of the best decks. What was it? Didn't it win like US Nats, North American Nats? And I think it had won a regional in this current format. So still good, still can win. It's just, it's too, I really think it's too slow. Like there's no way it can compete against Megiddo, right? Against Virus Imperial, like a lot of these decks, I don't think it can really compete against them anymore. Maybe I'll put, you know what? Now that I'm saying all this, I'll put Zafaga here, and then I think it's definitely better than Zafaga though. It's just kind of, yeah, they're all kind of like in this awkward position where they can win, but they're not in a place where they used to be. That's just being honest. Ragnarlord, shout out to Hung, aka Hung Lee, aka Coco Berry. Much love to you, man. But I'm gonna say probably not topping. It's definitely not it's probably at the top of tier 3. Maybe bottom tier 2. Let's put it like it's definitely better than Blue Flare though. Blue Flare, Commandramon, Alphamon. I'd say it's better than most of these decks. Is it better than Giga Siegramon? Probably. Necromon. I'll put it like right here. And then I'm going to move some of these down. I'm going to move Dex down. I'm going to move BL's down. Blue Flare, I'll put it down to tier 3. Commandramon, bottom of tier here. Alphamon, I'll put it up here. Giga Siegramon. I like Leopard more, but that's me being biased. So we'll do that. But Commandramon's probably good here because it also got a new Darkdramon. So, and then maybe let's do Dragon Lynx at the bottom of tier 2. And then let's move Chronicles down as well. Maybe around here. And then let's move Medusa down as well. Sorry guys, lots of movement here, but they're for justified reasons. I want to make this an accurate tier list, at least for my opinion. Yeah, Ragna's cool. I mean, basically does what Magna does, but you have big blocker. You have a big blocker and you're threatening ace and stuff like that, but can be too slow, can be bricky. But Coco Berry again has shown me the ways of Ragna, and I will always be scared if I see this because of him. Mastamon, I'll put it in tier 2 locals, probably above like Chronicles maybe. No, I'll put it above Necromon, sure. It got new support with the promo Mastamon, which is really nasty. One of my teammates had played Mastamon against me, and I was like weirdly surprised at how good it was. Being able to consistently go into Mastamon and just like answering your opponent's board by like trashing security and stuff like that, it's really, really good. Domini, aka 3 Great Angels. Ooh, that's like up here for sure. I'll put it right here above tier 2, like top of tier 2. Domini is just a really great card. Being able to protect your all of your Digimon and always threatening Ace is really good into many decks this format. But it gets cooked by stuff like Purple Hybrid. It can get cooked by like, let's say, honestly, I could see it getting cooked into Megidra. Royal Knight for sure, right? It's just really weird matchups all around. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong. Having protection and threatening aces is really good, but it's not like it's as one-sided like again in the old format where it was like basically just like Mirage and Fenry, where this would be so much better into those matchups. There's so many more decks you have to account for, and it's just not, in my opinion, it's just not there. Diaboro, I'll put that in probably not topping. Let's put it like right here, I guess. Diabora, I like the concept, going wide with tokens, de-digivolving, and punishing players for like playing Digimon is really good. But there's just not enough support out there. Hard loses to a lot of these top decks in the format. So again, that's going to be my main reasoning for a lot of these. But I don't want to spend too much time on these decks. So Hexablau, not really going to talk about that. It's not really its own deck. Puppets, I'm going to put it in locals. I'll put it right here. You get to have like crazy aggression with all the puppets. It's going to get better, even better in the upcoming formats. But right now, it just doesn't have that oomph. I don't even know what this is. Billstar, I'll put it tier 3. Way too slow. It doesn't do too much. You have crazy options and stuff, and you get to like make your guy immune with like what was it called? Gundramon. So that's cool, but not doing too much in this format, I'll be honest. Let's see. I'll probably put it above like Malga and Greymon though. Lilithmon, same deal. I'm just gonna put this, I'll put it like here, I guess. Sure. I mean, it's nice to be able to like, I guess, you're just playing so reactive, and it's nice to be able to like be like, hey, if you delete me, I delete you type answer. But it's just not proactive enough, especially in this meta. You need to have some sort of explosiveness, and Lilith does not do that. This Shoto, I'm assuming that's like Shoto Mother, but that's out of here. I already talked about Bielstar. Dynamon, I actually like Dynamon. I'll put a top of tier 3, probably not topping. I mean, it's a solid deck. You get the aggression, and you get to basically do the whole fortitude thing, but it can be pretty awkward. Like, how are you going to get through Royal Knights? You know, that's just not really going to happen when they have like their own mecha setup under Yggdrasil. But with that being said, it can have that type of like, it has a good mix between like offense and defense. Getting a sec +1 with Dynamon, but also being a huge ass wall that like becomes fortitude. That's always really good. So I don't think it's a terrible deck. I just don't think it's gonna win too much. Do Dogwater. Let's. I don't know anything about this deck because it's so bad. I think it was Ice Clad, like Scatymon or something like that. Don't know anything about it. I've never seen it pull out any results. Don't even bother playing it. Next up we have Sakuya. I'm definitely going to put this in tier 1. If you're able to explode with Sakuya and just have the absolute nuts hand, it feels like easily like the best deck of the format. But the biggest problem with Sakuya is that it does have weaknesses in that you're so reliant on a tamer, right? You need your Rika out in order to make sure that you get value out of plugin. Otherwise, you're depending on your scrambles. And that just feels kind of bad. Especially if you're going against a deck that can like remove tamers, or if you just never see your tamer for whatever reason. It's just super weird. You're also dependent on your like top end. So if you don't see like the right level 7 that you want for a specific situation, feels kind of weird. A lot of times I'm like digging. I feel what I don't like about Sakuya is that a lot of times I'm just like having to like dig for my pieces. Like I feel like I'm just like constantly digging in the deck. But again, if you see the full line, it's probably like the best deck of the format. But it has such a good matchup into like the two Imperials. Has a very good in my opinion, has a pretty solid / very good matchup into Royal Knights because of Valder Arm. It can potentially ruin mode lockout Megadra. It can basically do all of those things against Adventure as well. Against like Magna, it can stop the when digivolving effects and create a blocker board with the tokens. It's just obviously all around a good deck. Probably put it above Adventure actually, just because I think Sakuya takes way less skill to play than Adventure. Don't come at me for that, but I think Adventure is like such a high skill cap deck, and honestly, I could probably teach Sakuya to like someone new to the game. It's not rocket science to just like go up the line and keep using the only thing you need to know is like save your yellow scrambles for your level 7s, and that's basically it, right? So what is this one? Is this Digimon? I don't really know what this one is, so I'm just gonna skip it. Pyramidi, I'll put it in locals. I'm gonna put it like right here. It has crazy one-shot potential for sure. And Fragment, it can be really, really annoying. I think it's better than something like Medusa. It has way more explosiveness, and it can be really annoying to deal with. But with that being said, it's kind of just like a one-trick type of deck as well. Don't really know about, what is that, DS? So I'm just not going to talk about it. Barbamon, I'm sorry, Alfred, I'm putting this in doo-doo dog water. It's just, I don't really know like how much it's doing. It doesn't, I mean, it's, okay, I'm going to say this. He put me to 0 cards in hand at one point playing against Barbamon, but again, realistically against like all these top decks, you're just going to lose every time, right? I just don't see how you win against these decks with Barbamon. I'm not gonna put it at the bottom of. I'll put it probably like the top of Doo-Doo Dog Water. I'm sorry, Alfred. Don't kill me for that one. But this is where it's gonna be. It's just it's kind of awkward. It's an awkward play style, and that's pretty much it. All I'm gonna say about that. Gallant. Ooh, I'm between putting this in like tier 1 and tier 1.5, but it's probably. It's either the top of tier 1.5 or below birds. I'm going to put it right here. Gallant, it can really just explode out of nowhere. I mean, everyone's been like turned to Gallant X at some point. It's really annoying when someone just like has absolute nuts and they're able to like swing security, swing 2 checks, trash top security, gain 2 memory back, and then they have a big ass immune Gallant X that is threatening Crimson mode. It's like that's the most annoying thing. I know I've played Virus into Gallant a lot of times, and it can be really tough for Virus because you're having to set up, and if they have that like turn 2 nuts, it's just they just run away with the game and there's nothing you can do, because when you're going into like your DNA turn, they can just, again, they're just threatening Crimson, which yes, you can protect your stack with like Pyodramon, but then you can't, like, if you pass turn the memory over, you can't what's it called, you can't swing with Blitz with Dragon Boats. It's kind of annoying, but it hasn't been showing excuse me, it hasn't been showing too much results, but the results are there. But I mind Marty, shout out Marty Love, he got 17th place with Gallant. Luis also plays Gallant a lot and he does really well. So I would never count Gallant out. It's just, I mean, same reason why Magna's good. Having something that's immune to Digimon effects and have a certain type of like explosiveness is really good. Omnimon, I'm going to put it in tier 2. Let's put it like right here next to Maste. It's cool. I mean, being able to control your opponent's board with stuff like the secret Melga is really good. And obviously the ace, but it's really dependent on, again, it's dependent on tamers. It's dependent on the option card in order to save your stack. But like if it's the opponent's turn, then they'll have priority. So if they have a way to kind of just like bait you and then enter your Omnimon, it's kind of GG's. It's very telegraphed how you're playing the deck. And that's always been its biggest problem in my opinion. There's a pictures of Jedi's house. I don't really know what that is. And then looks like we're back at Eosmon. So I'm not going to really talk about all these decks that I'm skipped out on. They seem to either be like repeats or, again, I just don't know too much about the deck. But this is pretty much going to be the main tier list here. I'm going to get rid of my video here. This is going to be the kind of like the main tier list. Yeah, this is just from my opinion from playing the game this set. So top of tier 1 we have Megiddo Royal Knights, the 2 Imperial Sequoia, and Adventure, with Adventure being you can fluctuate it around. Megiddo Birds, Chaos Gallant or Gallant X, Megiddo, or I'm sorry, either the Magna Dex. This is either DNA Jogris or Magna Armors, Galacti, Hunters, Purple Hybrid, Lord Nightmon, was this like the Hero, Gaiomon, Ancient Guard, Galaxy, Levia. Trying to look to see if I would want to move any of these around. Currently I'm thinking no, I'm kind of happy with where everything's at. Maybe D Reaper can go like down here, and then I'm a little more happy with that. Chronicle can probably go above Necro. Dragon Links can go above Giastramon, the Siegramon deck. Yep. Okay. I think I'm happy with how this tier list is looking. Let me know what you guys think about this tier list video. This is basically the finalized tier list, in my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I know everybody's gonna have their own opinions, but this is my personal opinion on all the decks. I hope you guys like this video. It took a while to make, but hopefully it's insightful for anybody that's trying to be hyper competitive in this current format. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.